As a child, my guest today was haunted at night by ghostly, evil twin sisters. Stay tuned for the rest of the story.
He's a Florida witch with something to say. Your friendly old sage with a teddy bear face. The Alexian show, the magic's on its way. He's all set to play, so let's not delay. Welcome to Alexian's show.
Merry meet, everyone. My name is Alexian, and joining me today is my co-host, Draken. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
I missed you.
I know. I got to go spend time with my grandbabies.
You were vacating with your grandbabies. Yes.
Yeah.
But gracious Galena filled in for you, and she did a mighty fine job.
Yeah, I had to thank her for that. I appreciate it.
So, welcome back. We're on show 18. A year and a half.
I know. Like, it doesn't feel that long, but also feels like it's always been. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it just, I swear to God, the older I get, the faster the time is speeding up.
Yeah.
So, this is the 18th show. If you haven't seen the previous shows, check them out. If you don't have time to watch now, listen while you're driving or even in the shower. I listen to a lot of podcasts and I don't know what you call them today. They're calling first they were vidcast and then they became podcast and whatever this is.
Vlogs. I don't know.
Show.
Yeah.
You can listen to it in the shower too. And as usual, Draken, I have some analytics. We gained another 586 new subscribers since the last show. And so now we're up to over 19,000 subscribers.
Wow.
Interestingly enough, Brazil's back in the ring. They fought it out for number one.
That
Hola.
is so crazy.
USA come in second, of course, and Mexico was third. How about that? Hola, Mexico.
Yeah.
We are so thankful for all of our viewers. Without your continued support, the show would not be possible. But let us know where you are tuning in live from today, because, we want to know. We want to know. Type it into the YouTube comments now, and we'll throw some of those up on the screen. Also, if you're not listening live, if you've tuned in later after the hour, you might want to hit that live button, which is located right next to the volume slider. That helps you stay in real time with us, because you have to be in real time in order to win the prizes at the end of the show. Yeah. So, Draken, what have you been up to?
Well, like we said, I spent a week or so in Maryland with my grandkids. It was amazing. And, outside of that, just kind of enjoying the summer, doing a little swimming, getting a little sun here and there. And, and then outside of that, working. I have yet to wake up and just be independently wealthy. So
we're all working towards, right? We're all working towards that finish line.
Right.
Oh my goodness. I have a lot of good things happening. There's just a lot. It's just too much. It's too many good things. So I can't complain. Of course, I've been pushing forward with my music production, but I got sick a week ago and I've had this head, throat, and chest thing going on. So I apologize in advance if I start hacking and coughing during the show. I am on the rebound. I think today I have a little more energy than I've had in the past week. So I'm excited about that.
That is good.
But yeah, I have been pushing forward with my music production and I'm loving every moment of it. I actually just released the green one.
Exciting.
Which was exclusively released to the Chant of the Month subscribers. And remember, these songs I'm producing for the Chant of the Month Club, they will never be streamed live, ever. They'll never be on Spotify. They'll never be on Apple. They'll never be on YouTube. The only way to get them is directly from me at my website. And after I do 5 of them, what happens is they go into a bundle, and then you buy the bundle 5 at a time. And the bundle is $10, but if you subscribe to the Chant of the Month Club, it's only $1.29 a month. So it's actually cheaper to subscribe and more expensive to buy them at $2 each in a bundle of 5. So you might want to check that out. You can check that out again at alexianmusic.com/chant. So, for instance, the green one will be part of bundle 2, which is set to be released in a couple of months. But club subscribers, they've already got it, and they got it at a discount. So my intent behind these chants is for individuals to use my music to infuse their own personal rituals and spell work with an additional layer of magic, which is music. And music is vibrational. It's very, very spiritual, and it can really add a whole nother element to your ritual. And so these chants are not just songs. Some of them are worship. Some of them are actual spells. So you're going to want to check it out at alexianmusic.com/chant.
All beautiful.
Yeah.
All.
For the, excuse me, for the I Grow song, I actually had to find my baritone voice. I got the Gomer Pyle syndrome. Probably most people watching don't even know who the hell Gomer Pyle is, but he actually was a baritone singer. He had this huge voice, right, when he sang, but he talked really high like me, right? So
it's worth looking up on YouTube to find him.
Yeah, Gomer Pyle. You'll get a kick out of that. We love Gomer. But anyway, that's what I had to basically do to pull off that chant, because I wanted to sound like the Green Man, because it's a Green Man song. And in my mind and art, the Green Man is very masculine, and the forest, the spirit of the forest, and the green. Yeah. So anyway, it's really interesting to hear my voice that low. Before we go any farther, though, I want to take a second and congratulate Freddie from Florida, who won our July Arcane Treasures giveaway. Yay. Congrats, Freddie. He won, and he's all excited, and he has all of those things already. So if you want to be on our guest on our show, of course, today, we have Brian Henke. He's waiting in the wings. But if you want to be a guest on our show, or know one who would be perfect, tell them to go to alexianmusic.com/guest. And there's a little tiny form you fill out. It's really, really simple. Everybody freaks out. Oh my God, I got to fill out a form. It's like a little click and you're done. It's really, really easy. Looking for all sorts of different types of pagans from different walks of life. I would love to have on more artists. So if you're a pagan artist, go fill the form out. If you are a pagan dancer, if you dance, if your trade is dancing, I want to have you on the show. If you are crafts, like a witchy, crafty person, and you do crafts for magic, which we're, by the way, doing in my private community as well. My phone's going off. It's funny. I muted it, and then I unmuted it, and now I've got to mute it again. Sorry about that. What was I saying? Oh, we're doing magical crafts in the community, the private community. Actually, Dragon's in the community. She's made a witch hat. She's made a broom. She's done all sorts of stuff. Anyway, magical craft people, I would love to have you on and show everyone how to do something for a spell or for a ritual. Right now, of course, is Lunasa. We're filming this and during Lunasa, or Lunasa, depending on how you like to say it. And right now, wheat weaving is really popular, right? To weave those corn dollies and such for the season. And so that would be an example for magical crafts. I just want to have a really good variety of different people on. So check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out. alexianmusic.com/guest.
Yeah.
How's the chat going?
It's actually, we've got quite a few stuff going on here. We've got Natasha is here.
Hey,
It's
Natasha.
Okay. And we've got David Garcia.
Hey, David.
And of course, Sandra.
Sandra's here.
Yeah. And then we've got just kind of where they're from, which I threw it up earlier, but like we'll throw it up again here right now.
Excellent. Excellent. So we got several states watching.
Yeah.
Don't forget to click that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Word has it that each time you do that, you get one close step closer to winning the Arcane Treasures giveaway at the end of the show. You know, good karma and all of that. And also be a helper. Spread the word about the show in general to your pagan friends. We need to get the word out. Okay. Remember, this is an interactive show with questions and answers at the end of the interview. Draken will be covering the comments.
Yes.
So don't be shy. Ask your questions by typing them in to YouTube comments, okay, into the chat there. All right. I think we're ready to bring on our guest.
All right.
Let's do it.
It's time for Enchanted Verse.
He's a pagan recording artist and master guitarist whose music weaves spiritual storytelling with earthy acoustic beauty. Brian Henke has graced pagan festivals across the country, enchanting audiences with songs inspired by nature, mythology, and magic. Let's welcome the incredible, talented Brian Henke to the show. Hey, man.
Hey, good to see you,
Yeah,
Alexian.
man, you made it. You made it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we actually got to know each other a little better through the Red album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You did the beautiful song "Like a Bird She Flew," which is very emotional. And
yeah, that it is.
Yeah, I know it's a personal subject to you, and you don't like to talk about it, so we won't. But it's a gorgeous song. If you haven't heard it on the Red album, go check that out. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. So, who's this guy?
Well, that little dweeby kid is me a long time ago. I think like maybe third grade, second grade, something like that.
What year do you think this is?
Oh, it's probably something in prehistory.
In the before time.
Before time, back when playing rock guitar meant the guitars were made out of stone because wood had yet to be invented. I'm pretty sure. The crazy thing is I look at that photo and all I wanted to do back then was make music or be a scientist. And because I was always interested in the way nature and the universe worked and always wanted to go into space. So I've kind of done that with my music, I guess, instead of a white lab coat working for NASA.
We have a lot in common, actually. I started at a young age as well and was very much into science. And in fact, I scored so high on the science exams, you know, those entrance exams for college. They wanted me to go into scientific research. And I said, no, I'm going to be a rock and roll star. And I went to music college instead. So, yeah, I get it. I have pictures just like that. Just like that. Now, where were you growing up at this time?
At that time, I was in Edwardsville, Illinois, which is just across the river from St. Louis, about 10 miles from Cahokia Mounds, the largest Native American mounds in the U.S. Matter of fact, my first time I ever went camping was at the foot of Cahokia Mounds for a Boy Scout camporee in 1968. And So my roots are definitely there. And then at the age of 13, I moved to Northeast Ohio. So my childhood was kind of split in two. And before that, I lived in California. I was born in Monterey at Fort Ord, which I visited since then. And it was interesting. I actually drove down the street where I lived as a little kid, and nothing much had changed. I think the main difference is the hospital I was born in is now an FBI office, which I found interesting.
That's an interesting change.
Yeah. But it was the Doughboy Theater for the service people was still there. And I just imagined what it must have been like, 70 years ago when there was hardly any people in Monterey. And it would be easy to just walk to the beach from there. It had to have been beautiful. So those early childhood memories are still with me to this day, and led me to spending a little time by the ocean there at Big Sur, which is just, the mountains just dive right into the sea there. And I remember writing a song on a picnic table next to a giant redwood that by a stream that led to the ocean. Very, very magical stuff. I wish that they weren't having so many problems with forest fires and the roads collapsing into the ocean and stuff. I'd like to go back someday.
It's a whole
but I'm
other
glad
subject.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you moved to Illinois. Were you a farmer in Illinois?
Just on weekends and on the summer. I lived in a small town, and I would spend time on the farm in the summer, and I kind of balanced back and forth between going into town to play baseball and spending time on the farm up until I was I moved to Ohio. Then I would spend my entire summers on the farm. And there's that picture of the entire Henke clan. I think I was about 18 at that time.
So which one are you? The one on the right?
Yeah, the one with the dirty white bell bottoms and the sour look on his face.
Somebody wasn't happy. Do you remember what was going through your mind at that moment?
I was no longer living there. I just happened to drop by for a visit, and I wasn't real happy with where I was living. I was working in a factory or some such stuff, and definitely estranged from my family. But somebody decided, hey, they're all together. Take a picture. Oh, there we go. That was a happier time. I was already an adult, and that's my little girl Angel and my grandma Henke there on the pig farm. And I used to sit on that fence and play to the pigs on one side of it and the dog and cats on the other side. And those were good memories. Now, painting that fence, I did not enjoy. I remember that. But that little girl there sitting on that fence is now 51 years old.
My goodness.
Yeah, time flies, whether you're having fun or not. Mostly I've had a lot of fun. Yeah, there's another picture. And with my old Gibson's Southern Jumbo L acoustic, which I just loved and got stolen from me back in the 80s.
Ah, damn.
Yeah. And I think I was about 22 there, maybe 21. Yeah. And then the old barn, and it was my grandpa. I think I'm older now myself than he was in this photo, which is crazy to think.
Well,
you see those big glasses on him. He was legal. He was legally blind at the time.
Honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely. Matter of fact, it seemed like it happened overnight. It was blonde, and then all of a sudden, bam! It was white. I'm like, whoa. It took a little getting used to. There we go. My old Les Paul, which I still have, by the way, playing at a basement. That's one of my early rock bands. My hair was long enough back in those days. Sometimes it would get caught in the guitar strings. There's another. That was late 70s into like 1980, and we're on the wing of an airplane. And I remember the bass player lit up a cigarette, and somebody said, "You don't want to do that. You're next to the fuel."
Yeah. So is this your band?
Yeah, that was a band. It was called Skywave, and that was the only time I ever was in a band where we played cover songs. We played, mostly originals, but we started playing some cover stuff back then too. And it was a good learning experience.
Hear it. Is it
I
online somewhere?
No, there's nothing online from that band, unfortunately. I mean, there's a site, but I don't believe we ever recorded anything together, at least professionally.
Okay. All
It
right.
wasn't until after that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool picture.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty decent band, and I enjoyed it, but of course there was a lot of pressure, at that point in time too. But the other guitar player, Kevin, was really good, still is, still playing, and Bob, God, I haven't talked to him in over a year. The guy with the jumpsuit, and Angelo, the drummer up there, that was about as close as we could usually get him to smiling back in those days. He was a drummer after all, Oh yeah, there we go. Pirates Cove. Yep. We were really young. I forgot that I'd sent all these photos into you. Yeah, we were babies, Although I was the oldest member of the band. I always looked a lot younger than what I actually was. I was probably getting close to 30 at that point in time, maybe mid-20s. I'm not sure. But I had a day job back then, which, couldn't tell you which one. They all sucked, and most of them eventually fired me. So, oh, there we go. Ring of Fire. That was my last rock band. And that was a 3-piece rock band. I was a lead guitarist and the lead vocalist, which meant I was the 2 biggest jerks in the band. And I was a songwriter too. Maybe the 3 biggest jerks in the band. I'm not sure. And we did some pretty good stuff. I have some recordings, but I have to dig them up. It's all on cassette tape. I think some of it might be still in a recording studio somewhere in downtown Cleveland. But we did some good stuff and some stuff that wasn't so great, and it was after that I became a solo musician in the 90s. My first solo album was an instrumental called Many Waters, and it was released in 97. And after that, I started being able to make a full-time living out of playing guitar, which has really been a blessing. In 97, that was actually a long time ago.
Yeah.
I managed to scam the system that long.
I released my first album in 92. Believe it or not. And I've been doing music my whole life. When I first moved to Florida, I had 3 jobs, and I kept that up for several months, and I still wasn't making rent. And one day I just said, screw it. And I quit all my jobs, all 3 of them in the same week. And I started teaching music lessons. And through music education, I was able to support myself and make twice as much money as I was with 3 jobs. And I never looked back. So I've been self-employed pretty much the whole time. It's a blessing. It surely is. So let's talk about your influences. Who's your musical influences?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of deep musical influences. The British invasion was huge for me, but I was born in 55, so I mean, I was glued to the TV for the Ed Sullivan Show the first time the Beatles were on, and the second time, and the time that they released Hey Jude and Strawberry Fields Forever. I mean, I was there, and I remember one of the most hilarious things was the first time the Beatles were on. They had longer hair than what anybody was wearing at that time, and I remember my dad saying, "No son of mine's ever going to have hair like that."
Those damn hippies.
And that meant war. It was war.
My dad used to say those damn hippies. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at me now. I've had long hair for a long, long time. So I was very influenced by that. I was very influenced by a Christian guitarist named Phil Kagi. Big influence on my guitar style. But then again, I know and hang with some of the best guitarists on earth, literally. And they all influence me. I think we're all influenced by each other to a certain extent.
Oh, sure.
I'm always watching other musicians, and there's always something to learn, especially from other guitar players. How do they approach it? What's different? And there was always something new to learn for me. I've got a technique I've been working off and on that I don't have a song for yet. Just for fingerstyle guitar, where I, do more than one part at once. I just haven't found the right song for it yet. So I'm always learning, and I'm always learning from other people. I mean, the Who, those big, amazing orchestral chords, blew my mind. And Michael Hedges with the incredible orchestral acoustic guitar, and harp guitar. And I've got a couple of harp guitars. I haven't been playing them out live for a while, but I definitely have some good recordings with those instruments. So there's so many influences. I mean, everybody I hear, I learn something from.
Sure. That's the way to be.
The most important ability any musician has to have is the ability to listen. All the rest of it is secondary. The better you can listen, the better musician you're going to be. And I've always been a listener.
It's what I tell my music students on day one.
Yeah.
You're paying me a lot of money for me to show you how to listen. That's what I tell them. And it's so true. It's so true. And it is a skill. So
yes,
ear
it
training
is.
and solfege and all of that is a very big deal. Being able to hear the tones, being able to hear the inflections and all of the expressions that are added. It's not just notes.
Right. And allowing those notes and those words and those songs into your heart, as well.
Exactly.
Allowing them to affect. I can still remember the first time I heard Hey Jude. I was washing the dishes. I was in the 5th grade. My mom, I was drying. My mom was washing. And it was on the AM radio, KXOK in St. Louis. I don't know if you picked that up out where you were living.
Too far away.
Yeah. The DJ came on and said, here's a brand new song by the Beatles that I'm playing for the first time called Hey Jude. By the end of the song, I was standing in front of the radio with my mouth hanging open. My mom sang in the background, it's nice, but do they have to scream like that? And I said, uh-huh. Because as you may remember, there was never a bridge on a song like that before, where they just built up power and built up and built up and built up. I mean, maybe the Druids did it. Maybe they were doing that sort of thing at Stonehenge, or, I don't know. But as far as recorded music, I don't recall anything like that before then. And then, from that, we got, Freebird, we got Stairway to Heaven, songs that would build up and get really powerful at the end. Now, those, they were using guitars, whereas the Beatles did it with their vocals. And wow, did they do it with their vocals?
You know where I learned about Stairway to Heaven? Because we didn't get that radio station. We only had gospel and country.
Yeah.
Church.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And how evil that song was.
And I did talk about the May Queen,
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started on that whole upbringing. I was raised Baptist, and I was even the church organist for 4 years, but that's a whole nother story. I totally relate, man. Like, we were out in the middle of nowhere. We were 4.5 hours away by car from St. Louis. So we really didn't get anything. I'm from central southern Missouri, so a little farther down. Yeah. Very cool.
I know the area. Beautiful. Yeah, it's a beautiful area.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. All right. So who are these beautiful faces?
Oh, that's my oldest daughter. Remember that little girl on the fence? That's her. And those are two of my grandsons, Max and Hayden.
Grandchildren. And this is not a new photo, is it?
No. Matter of fact, Max, the little one, just turned 13. And Hayden is going to be turning 16 this year. The oldest grandson, he's with he just turned 22. I know, and I'm really old enough to be a great grandfather, but there I am with my son Phil.
Love the curly hair.
Yeah. When it's cut short and I just wash it and let it go, it does whatever the hell it wants. but we were on a trip there. There's my oldest grandson in the tree house I built for him. It's a rather elaborate tree house, as you can tell.
This is the inside of the tree house. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's the inside of the tree house.
I thought that was the bedroom. Uh-oh, you froze up on us. Well, wait a second. He'll come back.
We put together an old desk that at eBay, the windows. Yeah, no, that's the tree house.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
Yeah.
That's
since then I put a shed underneath. Yeah, and I put a shed underneath. It was originally going to be a drum studio for him, but after I set up the drums, he never touched them. So now it's just a shed. And I put a deck off of that. I'm not a good carpenter. Okay. I am very slow and very careful and very methodical, but I do enjoy building things.
Hey, it's beautiful.
Yeah, he was pretty happy. I had him hold the power saw once, and he hit a nail, and the look on his face was priceless. Sparks flying, you know. Ah!
Hey, everyone. Remember, this is an interactive show, so type your questions into the chat, and we'll ask Brian at the end of the interview. So, Brian, I heard you got a special rave review at the International Fingerstyle Guitar Championships from a Japanese guy.
I was thinking, what is he talking about? Oh, yes, I remember. Yeah, it was, you asked me about funny things, and I had to think about it. Yeah, I had just played the Fingerstyle Championships. I'd been on stage, and I wasn't happy with the way I played. They have a giant like circus tent, which is the backstage area. And I went back there, and the Japanese national champion was there with his interpreter because he spoke no English. And the interpreter spoke broken English. He was fairly new at it. And he said to me, just like this, he says, "Oh, I think you have good chance to win." And I said, "Really? What makes you think that?" Because I just walked off stage going, I was awful. And he said, "Oh, whole audience really crapping for you." and I doubled over laughing, and then I had to explain to him the difference between crapping and clapping. And I said, "Boy, they've never done that for me before."
I have really good Japanese friends from college, and yeah, they have problems with L's, but I can see how that would be really, really funny. Like, it makes sense, you know.
Well, and the timing
everyone's
was
crapping
just
for you.
Yeah, everybody's really crapping for you. I'm like, oh boy, I bet it's stinky out there.
That's funny.
Yeah, that really happened.
So the wood choppers ball also seems to be a big part of your life. Why don't you tell us about the wood chopper ball?
Well, it's in its 24th year. It's November 1st this year. It's 9 acoustic guitar players. I get to be one of them. And it's some of the finest guitar players on earth. And we do round robin, 3 guitar players on stage at a time, each taking turns playing a song till everybody's played a total of 4. And yes, there's some jams that happen with this sort of thing too. And in fact, you look at there's Alex Bevan, Todd Hallowell, David Mayfield, Robin Kessinger, myself, Patrick Woods, Andy McKee, and Neil Jacobs. Really, I think Andy at that point in time was probably the most viewed guitarist ever on YouTube.
Wow.
His song Drifting just kind of exploded and wound up touring and playing with and opening for Prince for 3 months in Australia. Nice. Around that time. Yeah. Great guitar player. Nice guy too. There's one of Muriel Anderson put out an album with Chet Atkins. Mark Skanga, international champion. Christy Lene, international fingerstyle champion. Jesse Smith, same thing. A lot of great guitar players. And Kelly Zulu down there, she's going to Free Spirit this year. She played Starwood this year too. Great guitar player. And she will be returning to Woodchopper's Ball. I mean, I could just go rave about these guitar players on and on and on. I mean, they've all accomplished so much. They're so incredible. And I love working with great musicians. Every chance I get, I ask them to, like you recorded, you sang on Temple of the Trees for me, the things we can do with wave files. I'm always asking other musicians to record with me, and it's always open for them if they want me to lay down guitar tracks. I just did one of Mama Gina Lamont's things and did one for Arthur Hines. They sent me the stems and the files, and I went to the studio and did them. It was great. And it's the same offer is still there for you, Alexia.
Absolutely, same reciprocal. I mean, if you need a voice, because I'm a vocalist, you can ask me anytime. I play keys too, but I'm not like a pianist. I read. So if it's printed like classical music, I can play it. But yeah, I love collabs. I love collabs. I also sang on several other people's stuff recently, so it's a lot of fun and I love to do it. I was on Marin King's. It was the last one I did.
I love, occasionally I'll put a choir into a song and I'll just, reach out to my friends and say, I want a choir here. And I get all these different voices, and generally people that are doing it don't know what everybody else is doing, which is part of the magic. And I think I've wound up getting a very different kind of choir sound on my recordings because of that. And I just, when I get into the studio, we mix and interweave things around. And I mean, literally the list of singers that has joined me is just mind boggling. From all over the world. Dave the Bard has been on some of the stuff. As a matter of fact, I think he might have been on Temple of the Trees. And he was on Raven King for certain. I didn't know you at the time Raven King came out.
No.
But Sharon Knight has done some stuff with me. Ginger Doss, Linda Millard. Linda's played quite a bit of flute. I mean, I love
Ginger and Linda.
Me too. Linda will not make it to Free Spirit Gathering. She's got hip replacement
surgery. Yeah, she's got a big surgery coming up. We love you, Linda. We're sending healing thoughts and energies.
I just got to see her though at Sirius Rising a week and a half ago, and she played flute with me because I had to follow them for the concert. I don't know, if you would be intimidated by that, I'm not sure. I sure was having to go play after them, but we did it without taking a break. And Linda played flute on my first song, which was a brand new song too. So the intimidation factor went up that much higher.
we all have our own gifts and do our own thing. So everybody's
and of course I love working with them every chance I get. So the Muses are coming to Free Spirit Gathering as well as to Wathadea, but Linda will not be with the Muses because of the surgery. The S.J. Tucker, Ginger Doss, and Renee Jansky, and I've seen the three of them before at Puff when Linda couldn't make it, and they're still incredible. So I'm looking forward to that, and looking forward to seeing Tuatha again. Speaking of great musicians, I was about this close to joining them as a part-time electric guitar player because I love their music and they're like family to me. And it was too much. I can't, I want to do everything, and I unfortunately I can't. And in order to keep up my own music, I have to concentrate on doing my own music and not. I mean, I traveled to Gatlinburg and spent a weekend with them rehearsing.
You travel a lot, and you've performed a lot, and I totally relate to what you're saying. I'm trying to say no more often because I'm trying to catch up on my own music. But yes, going back to you performing a lot, you have performed in a lot of places over the decades, and I have a few slides here. So fill us in where you're at and what's happening. Uh-oh, are you frozen? I think you froze again. His internet will come back in a second.
I think that I look pretty much the same. Yeah, I look pretty much the same for the past 10 years. So, I think there might be a few more pounds of me than there were 10 years ago, but this wasn't that long ago. So that makes it hard to tell. I'm playing the same guitar. That's my Larrabee C9. And that I think was in Cleveland, maybe the year before. I'm not sure. But it looks like I could have used a good conditioner. This is the Walnut Valley Fest, and that's my harp guitar, and that's Nick on my right, and Pete Hutlinger in the center. And Pete was a great friend. He passed several years ago. Played with Leanne Rimes in America, and was John Denver's guitar player for 4 years up until John passed. National fingerstyle champion, and just as remarkable as a musician as he was, and as accomplished, he was an even nicer human being. And I'll be back there again in September. I'm going to Kansas, so I'll wave at your old hometown as I drive through Missouri.
Thank you. So this is in Kansas.
Winfield, Kansas. Yes.
There you go.
I do believe that's stage 2 at 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh, and here's the harp guitar concert. Tom Shinnis, Dan Lavoie, that's Andy McKee over there, and Stephen Bennett, and me in the center. How I wound up in the center, I'm not sure. I think maybe because they had to mic my guitar. I was playing the Dreamcaster there. But that had been my idea, because back in those days, they didn't know what they wanted to do with the night before the festival actually started. And there's thousands and thousands of people there already. So I suggested, how about a harp guitar concert? So that's what we did. That was a lot of fun. And of course, they're all great guitar players. And Michael Kelsey, he and I have done a lot of shows together. Michael is back in 2004. He asked me about going to Winfield, Kansas for the competition. I said, that's not the right one. I said, I think you ought to do the one the Guitar Center put together called Guitarmageddon. So he did it. And out of 3,000 guitar players, and going through the regional finals and the district finals and the store finals, he made it all the way to the top 10. And they had the finals at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas for the Crossroads Festival. 80,000 people there. Michael's the only acoustic guitar player in the top 10, and he won.
Wow.
Standing ovation from the audience.
Excellent.
Remarkable guitar player. Lives in Indianapolis, and he and I do a lot of shows together. Someone once described what, there we go, Pete and Michael and I, wizards at work. That was fun. And Pete and I both doing the same hand gestures of putting our with our right hands on the neck, keeping up, trying to keep up with Michael. And there's another one of Michael and I. That's at the Kent stage as well in Kent, Ohio. I think that was a Wizards of Acoustic Guitar, and that's me in Arkansas
with your Les Paul.
Arkansas, and I'm playing the Les Paul. Yeah, and that wasn't that long ago. I remember the giant bugs and the heat. And the crazy fundamentalist preacher that kicked somebody in their tent, and then we had to have the police keep an eye on him after that.
Okay. Wow.
Mama Gina Lamont was the other artist there. Wow.
So let's dive into your lyrics. With musicians, I like to have them read their lyrics like they're poetry. So will you recite Dancing in the Air for us now? As soon as we get you back.
Yeah, I can do that.
Come on, internet. Don't fail us now.
Computer here, because it wouldn't print. I've been having printer issues today. So I won't be able to see you, but I'm gonna bring it up. Yeah. You've got a little spinning thing in the air. This is about it's part of Midsummer Night's Dream. Here we go. Floating in a forest, I could never dance before. I could never move just like this, dancing in the air. Titania is a starlight queen, lifting me with moonlight wings. I could never dance before. I could never move just like this. It all started with just a kiss, bliss, dancing in the air. Moonbeams, harp strings, flutes of Pan, heartstrings ring in who I am. I could never dance before. I could never move just like this. It all started with just a kiss. Bliss, dancing in the air. Shifting shadows seldom seen in the starlight of our dreams. I could never dance before. I could never move just like this. It all started with just a kiss. Bliss, dancing in the air.
Absolutely beautiful.
Oh, thanks. I said, having trouble connecting? This is often caused by an unstable internet connection.
Yeah, you froze at the very beginning, but then you came back and we heard the rest of it.
Okay. Yeah, I heard it all because I was reading it.
Yeah, you did indeed. So now, besides doing music, you're an avid gardener?
Yeah. Yeah, I built enclosures to keep the critters out. They can go find their own food. Yep, there you go. That's some wintertime shots.
So I have to interject. I was wondering what the cages were. I'm like,
yeah,
does he have peppers that get frisky and try to escape? Like, what's happening here?
No, I have, things like rabbits and chipmunks and deer, and I want to keep them out.
And deer. Gotcha.
And I the where it goes up really high, that's where the beans grow. In fact, we just had our first beans yesterday. It was
nice.
Awesome.
What kind of beans?
Green beans, and these were purple ones that turn green when you cook them. They're the first ones to come in. And to the right there, which you can't see all of it, that's where the tomatoes are now. And we've had our first small red tomatoes coming in. The big ones, it'll probably be, another week or so. There's lettuce that we grow and various different things. But I built all of those enclosures. I designed them on my own so that they don't have to be put into the ground. The weight alone holds them down. And that's all nice. They're all 2x4s. And they're all stained on the outside of the wood, but not the inside, because that way they rot naturally. It's all designed to eventually disappear, and rot through. And I'll just, keep replacing boards as I have to. We were actually hit by a couple of tornadoes, which has never happened in this area before. Last year, while I was in Darlington, Maryland at Free Spirit Gathering dealing with Hurricane Debbie, back home, we had 5 tornadoes rip through, and I had to do some repair work on some of the upper boards on that because they got wasted. But I love doing that sort of thing. I love building things and growing things and eating things too. I love every year
that in common too.
Yes, every year when the first big tomatoes come in, the big heirloom ones, the tomato sandwiches are just, well, yeah. Anybody that likes tomato sandwiches will understand.
We used to grow the German beefsteak tomatoes. You know what I speak of? The big, fat, meaty ones. Oh my God, they made the best bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwiches.
Oh yes. Yeah, we do that too. Only I don't do beef and pork, so it's turkey bacon.
So back on the farm, we had a huge garden. It was at least, I don't know, half an acre to 3/4 of an acre or more. We used a tractor to till it because it was so big.
Same here. Yeah, same here.
Yeah, and like I love those memories of getting in the garden, getting all muddy and tilling and watering and picking the bugs off the plants and all the things that you do when you're a farm boy in the garden. I did all of that. Spreading manure. all of it.
Getting us ready for a career in sales. Yes.
Oh my goodness. I have really good fond memories of sitting under the mulberry tree with my sister, who's 7 years older, and my mom snapping green beans for hours and hours because we had so many and they had to be frozen. My mom was against canning. My aunt did all the canning. My mom refused to can. So we had a big deep freezer and we would just freeze everything in Tupperware. But like a lot. Yeah. Love gardening. Can't do it here in Florida. It's very difficult. It's too hot.
Yeah.
And too many bugs.
Yeah. I discovered fire ants a couple years ago there by stepping on a hill right after a rain barefoot.
You'll never forget them, will you?
No, I will never forget the fire ants.
How about another set of lyrics that you've prepared for us?
I was actually able to print these out.
Excellent. Take it away.
Dance with the Fireflies. Listen to night birds, spells in the air, night wind and stars in your hair. Dance in the faylight, bells made of fire. Sing about love with a choir. Dance with the fireflies. I feel your heartbeat dance with my own. I breathe your breath in like love. Wearing the moonlight, wind on our skin, forever is never enough. Dance for the fire, dance with the fireflies, dance with the fireflies. Come kiss me softly here on my lips, caress my skin like a breeze. Starlight is shining here in the mist. Lover, bring me to my knees. Made of fire, ring in the mist. Music like sighing of sighs. Ethereal choir, sing for a kiss. Throw your head back to the sky. Come kiss me softly here on my lips. Caress my skin like a breeze. Starlight is shining here in the mist. Lover, bring me to my knees. Fireflies dancing here in the mist. Love is the reason they fly. Love me forever now with a kiss. Sing to the sound of the sky. A song of the stars and of sighs. And dance with the fireflies.
Beautiful. Now, Brian is donating a physical CD of Dance with the Fireflies for the Arcane Treasures giveaway at the end of the show. So if you want to enter, now's the time. Type #pick into the YouTube comments now to enter the giveaway. Do it now to enter, and we will run the actual giveaway at the end of the show. Again, type #pick, P-I-C-K. You see it down at the bottom of the screen now, and we'll run the actual giveaway at the end of the show. And also remember, this is an interactive show. Type your other comments and questions into the chat, and we'll ask Brian shortly. So, Brian, tell us about the Don't Wake the Henke story.
Yeah, you asked about humorous things that happen at festivals. Well, at 2016, I was at PSG at Tall Tree Lake, and I think the average temperature was around 106, and it got a lot hotter than that. And it was killing me. I'm not, somebody that likes the heat much. Tuatha Dea was there, and we were all kind of camped in the woods in the same little area. Back then, I was using a little dome tent. And because I was exhausted, I went to bed fairly early. And I was going to be playing the hand fasting for Chris and Kathy from Tuatha Dea the next day. Selena Fox was the officiant. And so I've been there sleeping, and Kathy got totally wasted drunk. I think I worded it a little differently, yes. And Chris was dragging her back to the tent to pour her into the tent. And at the top of her lungs, she was saying, "Don't wake the Henke." Don't, because they called me the Henke. I don't know why. But don't wake the Henke. And of course, this woke me up. Their drummer, LA, and all drummers are wise guys. Just we all know this. And he starts giving me a hard time about something. And I don't know if I can use this language here, but I will anyway. I just said to him, LA, I would say, fuck you, but I'm too tired. Go fuck yourself. And then I immediately fell asleep. But the last thing in my mind was, that's a good line. I better remember it. But immediately fell back to sleep. And you can tell when I'm asleep because it's rumored that I snore. I'm sure it's not true, but it's rumored.
It's rumored.
So it was just such a funny moment, and it was a rough festival because the heat was just so bad. There was very little food there. It was a tough festival. Yeah, I had a hard time. I had to beg for food because there was nothing that I could buy at various times there. I won't go into all the things because the poor folks that put PSG together had to deal with it themselves. But
well, things happen. Yeah. I understand.
Yeah. Being an organizer myself, I understand. Yeah. Things happen.
Things happen. Things happen. I went to a Mid-Atlantic Beltane Festival up in Virginia one year, and I was performing. Started raining the moment I arrived, and then it poured, and then the temperature dropped, and it was in the upper 30s the entire time. Non-stop rain. I kid you not. It never stopped. Long story short, everybody was covered in mud, frigid to the bone, and just wanted to go home. And on Sunday, that's what happened. Everybody was packing up to leave. And guess what happened? The temperature raised and the sun came out. And it was beautiful. So they were like, Alexian, you want to perform? And I'm like, what? And they're like, the stage is right next to the road where you go out. You can be performing and wave goodbye to everybody. So I said, shit, why not? So I did. I was singing my songs, waving to people as they were leaving, and they were like cheering me from their cars. It was so stupid, but it was a lot of fun and really good memories. And we basically huddled together under blankets, under tent tops with gas heaters, and just shivered for, the whole time.
Yeah.
So things happen,
I have played a lot of outdoor festivals, as you know, and I've experienced tornadoes, literal tornadoes, microbursts from tornadoes, floods. This year at Starwood, if it wasn't in the 90s and humid, it was pouring rain. And a couple of days in, it was nothing but a soupy, muddy mess everywhere you walked. And we have 20 acts there, and I'm one of the organizers. We somehow were able to pull it off and have all the people perform, because it didn't rain nonstop, but it sure rained a lot. And it was so hot when it wasn't raining and steamy. And then a couple days later, I'm in New York playing Sirius Rising, and the first night, and it was clear and beautiful and gorgeous.
You just never know. That's why they call it nature.
Going to get when you're playing outdoor festivals.
So, speaking of performing, you've been traveling all over
everything
the place.
Froze there for a second. You're frozen there.
Oh,
somebody needs to put Alexian's top hat back on him again.
Am I back?
Yeah, I'm back. You disappeared.
Okay.
You froze for a second. I was saying.
Okay.
You needed to put the Frosty the Snowman top hat on to bring you back to life.
Oh, I get it now. You've been traveling all over the place and working on multiple projects as well. So what did you just finish?
There you are. Okay, you froze again. Spinning.
Ruh-roh. He's having a hard time with his internet today.
Yeah, I mean, my internet is showing it's going full strength and strong as hell, but I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I'll say it again. You've been traveling all over the place, performing and working on other projects at the same time. So tell us what you've been working on and what you've just finished.
Well, I just finished with the 2 weeks, the 2 festivals back to back. And I'm home for this week doing local things. I just played a private housewarming last night. I play a hospital in the rehab room on average twice a week, which means during the summer when I'm touring and I'm home, that means I'm there 3 or 4 times a week.
That's beautiful.
And teaching, and I'm producing a CD for a singer-songwriter named Eddie Sky. Been working on that. I'm producing 2 albums of my own to do for release later this year, and both of them are going to be double CDs, a total of 48 songs. Good Lord, and I'm heading to Free Spirit Gathering in Darlington, Maryland at Camp Ramblewood on Monday, tomorrow. So
Tomorrow, yes.
tomorrow, yeah, and that's after playing at Suma Rehab Center. So, yeah, I joke that the older I get, yeah, time goes faster. You mentioned this earlier when you get older, and it does. But I've increased my own speed to try and keep up with it. I mean, I heard that somebody said my shadow was trying to find me, going, "Where the heck is that guy?"
Your dance card is definitely full. Your
Yeah,
dance
and
card is definitely full.
and I'm doing promotions and booking for other festivals as well. I'm the artist liaison at Starwood, the entertainment director for both Autumn Fires and Free Spirit Gathering. The benevolent dictator for the Wood Shoppers Ball for the past 24 years, and booked the Winfield Arts and Humanities mini music fest for September, right before the Walnut Valley Festival starts. And I'm probably doing other things too, but it's all spinning around up here,
It's all a
and,
blur.
yeah, it's all spinning around my halo, going, what the hell is that guy up to? But I'm reached a point where I know I've got to get it done now.
I hear you. I hear you.
Only so many minutes left.
I've got
And-
hundreds of songs written that I've not recorded yet, and I am, like I said earlier, saying no more often so that I can get those things done. But let's back up a little bit. I heard the word teach fly by very quickly. You teach guitar?
Yes.
Tell
I
me
would
a
say
little bit about
mathematics,
that.
but nobody would believe me.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, my teaching style is a little different from most guitar players.
That's okay.
I teach both how to use a flat pick and finger picking at the same time for beginners, because I go right into it, so that it's not so like this big hard thing, finger picking, finger style, that you're going to have a hard time with later. I teach them both at the same time, and I don't teach people what to play. I teach them how to play. I even wrote a song for beginning guitar players called Squid God, which is really silly and kind of dumb. But it starts off with two finger chords and goes into some of the 3-finger chords, and it's a little more complicated as it goes on. And that I wrote that way specifically to teach, to help people get going with guitar. So yeah, that's what I do.
I love it. I actually had guitar class as one of the many instruments I had to learn at Berkeley because of my music education major. But, it was how to strum, how to do basic chords, and, Mary Had a Little Lamb, Frere Jacques, just stupid stuff. And I loved it so much, I bought the guitar and then never did another thing with it, right? Because life, right? But I still have that guitar. So maybe someday I'll hire you. I would love to learn to pick. I think because I have a lot of dexterity in my fingers from playing piano, that would help a little bit.
Yeah. People who play piano, it's usually a little easier for them to learn that stuff.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I try to remove the mystery as much as I can.
Brian, I had no idea that you taught. I think that's amazing that you're passing on all of your amazing talent to the younger generation.
Well, yeah, it's not even just the younger generation. It's adults, people who have retired.
Well, sure, sure,
and they want to learn guitar. It's something they always wanted to do. Well, I remember one of the sad things, I was teaching this kid who was so into guitar. And he was getting to the point where he was really good, and he was starting to learn some of my really more complex instrumental music. And he turned 17, and he dropped playing guitar to get into kickboxing.
I've taught kids, I've taught teenagers, I've taught adults. I teach mainly adults piano and voice. I teach singing and voice and music theory and songwriting, and everything I learned at Berkeley, I teach. If you're interested, you know how to reach me. But I'm actually working towards doing courses because I want to get out of the 1-to-1 and free up more time to get those songs recorded, right? But I think it's amazing that you teach. I love that. And I never know that. about you?
Well, it's not something that I really talk about much. I don't want a lot of students because I don't have
Right.
time.
I
You
understand.
know, and I don't teach out of a music store or anything like that. It's always
Sure.
been either in my house or at their house. So
Yeah.
yeah, I want to keep it. I don't want I don't advertise that I do this. But if people are interested, they can come and ask me, and I say sure.
There you go. You heard it here first.
Yeah,
Because they
yeah.
don't talk about it.
And I can do it via Zoom as well. If somebody's like in
That's how
Alabama, say, or yeah,
I teach people from all over the world via Zoom. I
Yeah.
went online exclusively in 2010, and I never looked back.
yeah,
So I've been doing it for a long time.
I can do that as well. I haven't, like I said, I've never advertised that I do it.
Yeah.
I'm so busy with so many other things.
Yeah.
That, and the travel,
So
travel is pretty intense.
Back to the slides. You've got a bunch of slides here you sent me. Let's talk about them.
Okay, the Raven King. I don't remember sending that, but that's from the album The Raven King.
Surprise.
I think that might have been the cover. I've been out of that one for a while, and I have to confess, I rarely listen to my own music. I
Cool.
rarely do.
Draken, you're early.
Yeah. I get so busy with newer stuff that I don't want to focus too much on the older stuff. Now, the song Raven King is actually being redone. I'm tearing it apart, going to be adding real drums, a real kit drummer into it, changing the bass so that it fits the drums, because as you know, you got to have the bass tie the drums to everything else. Redoing the vocal, fixing the acoustic guitar sound, I never liked it, and then maintaining the rest. And then refitting it to the video that's already out there, which I think is a pretty good video. And I'm doing that with several other songs as well, going back and remixing, getting rid of stuff that wasn't necessary for bringing up harmonies, redoing vocals.
It's hard to leave things alone, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't have to. I don't have an overlord record companies telling me what to do, and I've actually never shopped for a label.
No.
I've talked with label people, and I'm like, I'm not interested. I let them know, look, I don't need them. I'm making a living without them. So why would I want the extra added headache of having somebody else tell me what to do musically? I can do whatever I want
right now, because it's the truth. If there's any young musicians, aspiring young musicians out there, and they want a record label, they want a record deal, they want a record label, I would encourage you to rethink that decision, because a lot of people, especially youngsters, who think they're going to get a $1 million recording contract. Well, even if you do get a $1 million recording contract, that does not mean that you suddenly have $1 million in your bank account. What that means is that now you owe them $1 million. In other words, they're going to spend $1 million on you, and now you got to make that money back. And hopefully, knock on wood, even more money, right? So dance, monkey, dance. Do what we say. Do it how we say. Go where we say. And you are now their slave to make that $1 million back. That's how it works.
Talking with Henry LeConte. Yep. I was talking with Henry LeConte, who owned all the Agoras and was involved with record labels and Meatloaf and all these amazing artists. And I was talking with him about it, and he says, how you wind up with $2 million in the music industry? I mean, how you wind up with $1 million? Start with $2 million. He said it's almost impossible to make any money. You have to sell so many records. You have to tour so much.
There's so much money that is made from them using you and your music, and the artists themselves rarely see much of it themselves. There's so many famous people, like filthy famous people, that have actually died broke. And that's
Right.
just the sad truth. So rethink that. If you want a record label, I encourage you to educate yourself before you jump into signing something that you probably don't really want. And with the internet today, you don't need them anymore. So let's
No.
continue on this journey. Some more photos of you performing here. I'm just going to go through these fairly quickly. Again, the beautiful hair. What is this from?
That's my first vocal album. After I was a solo acoustic guitar player playing instrumental stuff for 7 albums for many, many years. I didn't sing at all. I had quit singing after I quit doing rock and roll and just concentrated on being an instrumental guitarist. And then I started, my muse started me with doing poetry because I had to put out words too. And then I started writing music, and it's like, okay, I've got to do this. So when I got to this album, I had to relearn how to sing. Now, Alexian, I'm sure you've never taken a 10-year plus break from singing. I did.
No.
And had to retrain my inner ear in the recording studio with these things on. And as anybody that's been in the studio can tell you, these lie.
Yeah,
You're not hearing. It's not the same as the air being pushed out. So I'm actually redoing quite a few of the songs that are on this album.
Cool.
But I love the songs. Like I said,
I love the art. Who did the art?
Yeah, the art. I can't recall her name, but it's on the album cover somewhere. I mean, it's on the album.
It's a if you're watching, that's a beautiful piece of artwork. I adore it.
Yeah. Oh, there's Sirius Rising with Ginger Doss and Winter, whose last name I can never pronounce. We're sharing nights. We all played together in Ginger's set. But that is a very happy photo.
Yes, I love that photo. That's beautiful smiles.
Oh, there's a photo of Byron Ballard and I. And see, what does that say? Something gathering 2017. So
Belting 2017. Yeah.
Somewhere. Yeah. I get a lot of t-shirts. I wear them.
I love Byron. I love her. She's so down to earth. I love her.
Yeah, definitely amazing human being. There's me at a radio station, WCPN, with Dee Perry, and that was the day that she retired. And I went in for one more time because I played live on her show a lot. Same thing with WKSU in Kent with Jim Bloom. They were getting to the point where they're calling me their studio guitar player because I would go on and play live whenever I had a weekend off or something. I would go in and just go to the studios and play.
That's amazing.
It was a lot of fun. I love doing that. I've been able to do that some with WCSB 89.3 Cleveland. I'm going on once a month to do that, and I drive down there. And I'll be on again on the 14th on WCSB, and we'll be promoting the Cleveland Pagan Pride, which is I'm playing on the 16th. That's in Bedford at the town square. Imagine that, a Pagan Pride on the town square of a small town. It's great. And it's a big one too. About 2,000 people go to this Pagan Pride. Yeah. A lot of great music.
So just another quick reminder to type your questions into chat. We're almost there. But before we do that, if you'd like to explore the musical world of Brian and discover even more offerings, you might want to check them out in these several places. So the first place would be pagansong.com/author/Brian-Henke. And Brian, is it Henke or Hanky?
Yes.
Okay.
I suppose it's Henke within like an sound. Brian, yeah, Henke. It's common in certain states, and it was fairly common in Bavaria. And I'm pretty sure that it means something like cannon fodder or peasant. I think that's
okay. Well, it can't be worse than my real last name, which is Sinning.
Okay. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
All right, and you can also find them on Reverb Nation /Brian Hanky. Hanky.
Yep. And there's a great place
um,
to listen to the music too. I mean, you can listen to for free. You just go over there and you can listen to tons and tons and tons of music, and it costs nothing.
And you're gonna have to tell me about Reverb Nation. I hardly ever use that site myself.
Yeah.
We'll have to have a little, you know, workshop.
Yeah, it's linked to Facebook, so it's easy to put it over on Facebook too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And the third place is his Facebook profile, which is facebook.com/Brian.G. What's the G stand for?
Gene.
Gene.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I had an Uncle Gene.
Yeah.
I like that name. Brian.G.Henke. There you go. I didn't put the other one up because, you know, it was this long.
Yeah. Oh, the other one is actually, it's just Brian Henke. And I had to get that because Facebook's maxes you out with the friends you're allowed to have at 5,000.
Yes.
And I have a whole lot more people that I'm connected to. So
what you need to do is start a page.
Yeah.
Because you can start a page and they don't limit you.
Well, they did change this to a digital creator, and they still limit me. I don't know. They've done things kind of without, you know, talking to me about it. So
I'm on YouTube right now, so I can say this, but Facebook is flawed. I'm kind of over it. I started my own community on my own website. I'm just pulling it all over to my website because I'm tired of posting things, then people don't see them.
Yeah.
They don't see them. You think they're seeing them, but they don't see them. But you pay to get people attention to follow you. And then after they follow you, they want you to pay again just so they see your posts.
Yeah. And, you know, and I have to say, I've never paid Facebook a cent.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Which is the reason I'm still there is because, you know, well, you know, how do you make money in the music industry, right?
Yeah.
Don't spend any. So that's always kind of been my theory. So I don't spend much money on that sort of thing. If I can help it.
Yeah. So let's bring Draken back on and see if we have any questions.
Hey.
Hey, girl.
Hey, that was really interesting. I enjoyed that. So no questions in the chat. Looks like everybody's just putting it all in.
Just absorbing.
It's kind of, our audience tends to do that. We just kind of like and listen.
Well, he is hypnotizing when he speaks, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He has lots of good stories. Great. I love it.
Send me your money. Send me your money.
If it was only that easy.
Invisible. It made me invisible, but you can see it. Send me your money.
Hey, everyone. Have you clicked that karma button yet? Give that like button a high five and subscribe and tap the bell for a better chance at winning the arcane treasures, which is coming right up. But right now, don't go away. We'll be right back after we'll have a little fun with Brian after we have this short sponsor break.
Are you ready to elevate your brand and connect with a dynamic and growing community? We invite pagan-minded businesses and services to sponsor our live YouTube show, where your brand can shine. Visit alexianmusic.com/sponsor to explore this exciting opportunity. Imagine your logo taking center stage, just like our other esteemed sponsors. Join us in celebrating our shared passions and reach a dedicated audience. We can't wait to welcome you on board. Our sponsors for today's show are... Have you heard of paganmusic.com? It's a site run by Alexian and his husband Victor, who have been championing pagan music for over 30 years. They founded Earth Tone Studios in 1993 and took their support online in 1997 at paganmusic.com. They're now liquidating their stock, and some items have turned into rare collector's pieces. After the liquidation, they plan to evolve paganmusic.com into a resource hub, continuing their dedication to all pagan recording artists. Today, paganmusic.com is excited to donate a $25 cart checkout coupon for the Arcane Treasures giveaway at the end of the show. We hope it brings the winner some joyous pagan shopping. Today's show is also proudly sponsored by Alexian's official website as pagan recording artist, Alexianmusic.com, where you can explore a world of pagan music and artistry. At Alexianmusic.com, you'll discover a treasure trove of resources, including music recordings, online courses, as well as the Cool Cats community. Join him for bonfire bardic circles, magical spells, recipes, rituals, daily tarot videos, spiritual discussions, pentacle parties, songwriting classes, book swaps, meditations, and so much more. Be part of the fun and enrich your spiritual journey. Today, Alexian is offering a complimentary Rooted Kitten ongoing membership to the Coven of Cool Cats in the giveaway. This $4 per month membership grants you access to his vibrant and growing community. Alexian is also including a limited edition Alexian Show fridge magnet up for grabs during the Arcane Treasures giveaway at the end of the show. Don't miss your chance to snag this unique collectible and be part of the Alexian adventure. Our sponsors funded today's show, covering equipment, streaming software, and staff. Please support them as they support us. And now let's get back to the show.
Okay, it's time for the rapid fire questions. I pre-warned you about this, Brian. Do you have your paper and pencil ready?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Okay, so here we go. Let's have fun with it. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would that food be? Next question. What's your favorite memory from childhood? What is your favorite memory from childhood? Okay, next question. If you had to replace one body part with a gadget, what part would it be, and what function or functions would that gadget have? If you had to replace one body part with a gadget, what part would it be, and what function or functions would that gadget have? Okay, time's up. Let's go back to number one. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
My mom's chicken and dumplings.
Oh,
That was real
man.
easy for me to come up with. Yeah, and two of my sisters have her recipe. My mom is in memory care, so she doesn't cook anymore. But I love that. My mom's chicken and dumplings. Just I could eat
Amazing.
that.
For me, it was my mom's macaroni and tomatoes.
That sounds really good.
It is
You have the
amazing.
recipe?
I do. And in
Of course
fact,
you do.
a bunch of my, if you're on my newsletter, I actually give out recipes on my newsletter. And one of the most popular one is Alexian's fudgy brownies. I have this killer homemade brownie recipe, and they're just they make your pupils dilate, because it's real chocolate, But yeah, I have recipes. So, what's your favorite memory from childhood?
I think I was about 13 or 14. I was on the farm, and my grandpa had come up with this idea that he would put speakers in the flower boxes, because his idea was to play religious music on Sundays to the neighbors in the farm country. I don't know that he ever did that. I never heard it, but I used to play my albums. And I remember listening to The Threshold of a Dream by the Moody Blues, and then going for a walk with my Stella acoustic harmony guitar. And I remember I went out to this pasture and I could sense something moving in the woods along with me. Might have been a coyote. I'm not sure what it was, but there was a mist over the ground. It was so beautiful. The stars were out. Then I was walking down the road plucking at the guitar, and all of a sudden I caught a groove and started writing my very first music. And I got chills up and down my spine, and it was like the heavens opened up, and I was like, yes, this is it. This is it for me. I never, ever forgot that, and I still cherish that memory.
I love that story.
Yeah,
That's great.
And that's exactly the way that it happened. I mean, the Moody Blues, you were talking about influences. The Moody Blues were a big influence on me too. Loved Justin Hayward's voice, and I love those songs. So yeah, that's my favorite.
Wow. So now for the funny one. If you had to replace one body part with a gadget, what part would it be, and what function or functions would that gadget have?
And I remember you asking me that question. I'm going, huh? Because I can't imagine wanting to replace any of my body parts.
No, not one.
Not one. If I had to, I can't imagine one. If I had to, what I would want to replace them with. I suppose if I had to replace anything, and maybe my feet, so that I could jump really high, bottoms of them, so I could jump up into the air. I was on a trampoline everywhere I went. But that is unfortunately the best answer I can give.
Do you ever have a pogo stick?
You can hear me, but I never had one of my own, but I did bounce on them. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, me too. I never had one, but I would bounce on friends. Yeah, it was fun. Okay, let's bring Draken back on. So the time has come to reveal the question or the story. So tell us about the story about the evil twin ghost sisters.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, this is pretty spooky, but it actually really happened. I
believe
very young. I was in Edwardsville, Illinois. I think I must have been around 6 or 7, and I slept in the bottom bunk of bunk beds. My sister Vicky was in the one above me, and I started being visited late at night by these evil twin sisters. They were really large. And one was sitting on me, and the other one was holding my hands behind my head. And they kept visiting me, and it was terrifying as a little kid, because I didn't know what the hell that was going on. And then one night, this little man kind of flew in. I thought of it as riding a magic carpet or sitting on a cardboard of oblivion here happening on the screen. Anyway, he kind of flew in, swooped me up, swirled me around real fast, and then put me back in bed. And I had the sense that I'd been on a really, really long journey and got to see my life, and that everything was going to be okay. Then many, many years later, I was walking down Detroit Road in Lakewood, Ohio, and I was passing a laundromat. And I looked in the window, and there were those two sisters, as though they were waiting for me, watching me, and with the same smile, grins on their face that they had that I remember from when I was a little kid. And I was pretty spooked, and I just kept walking. I didn't go in to say hi. Hey, how you doing? It's been a long time. I didn't do any of that. I just kept walking. So
wow.
Do I have an explanation for all of that? No. I have no idea what was happening. I brought it up to people, and people had different theories. But I had the feeling they were trying to take something from me. And I'm not sure what that was, but I remember the little man swooping down. He had a little pointed beard, a little goatee, and he was thin, and he had a big grin on his face, and he swooped in and took me away and then brought me back. And I knew that everything was going to be all right and they would never bother me again.
Well, there you go.
There you go. That's the whole story.
That's
It
crazy
kind of
that you
feels
saw
like-
them in real life.
Yeah.
It sort of feels like the type of thing where they were trying to take maybe your art.
Your talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
your
I'm
talent.
not sure what it was. Maybe they were, yeah. Or they were just, absorbing it into themselves, something about, the little kid that I was. And I had the feeling that they could time travel. And that was part of what was going on.
Might be.
They knew who I was going to be when I got older. Who knows? Maybe I'll see him again. If I see him again, I think maybe I'll have a chat with him. Say, what?
What's your deal?
WTF? Yeah, I mean, what was it that you wanted? I mean, what was this about? Because I don't really know. All I know is that if the little man came, swooped down, and grabbed me and took me around, that everything was going to be all right. But it was interesting because I knew that. I felt as though a lot had happened during that swooping around, but I'd forgotten about it immediately because I wasn't supposed to have that mapped out for me. I was just supposed to know that everything was going to be okay.
The little guy that swooped you away could have been your higher self or your guardian angel protecting
That
you.
could have been, yeah, it could very well have been. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Just that everything, I mean, of course, like all of us, from the time you're 6 or 7 until you become in your 70s, there's going to be a lot of things that don't go right. But somehow I've always known that everything was going to be okay. And now it's actually, better than okay because I'm able to do my art, my music at my very best. I'm actually the best singer now that I've ever been in my entire life. Better than when I was younger.
Wonderful.
I think and writing music is like the easiest thing in the world for me. I do, workshops at festivals sometimes on writing songs. And one of the things I do to show people how easy it is, I'll ask the people in the group that I'm doing the workshop for to give me a word. And when a little kid, it's hilarious because the word poopy is almost invariable added to it. But I remember one in particular with the little kids. It was poopy, mom, goat, and pants. So the song's hook became, I went poopy in my pants, but told my mom it was the goat. So, and I always get somebody to throw some word in there that's not going to go with any of the rest of them. And then, that's one of the things that makes it fun is I have to stretch and figure that out. And then I'll ask, well, we want this to be fast or slow, or what kind of mood should we get? And then I show them, and it's a lot of fun because I don't want there to be a mystery about what we do, about writing music. It's not as hard as people make it out to be. Now it can get very complicated, and I write some very complicated music, but just sitting down and writing a song is not brain surgery. It's just allowing that in.
Melody, harmony, rhythm. That's it. Optionally, lyrics.
Yeah.
That's it. That's a song.
Right.
Everything else that you hear is arrangement. That's different. That's not writing.
Yeah.
That's arranging. Yeah.
Yeah. I was doing a year ago, I was doing a workshop and I played some chords and I said, so what does this make you feel like? And a couple of people said, it makes me feel, kind of reflective, thinking. So I went back to my campsite and I wrote an entire song and then debuted it this year at the same festival. That's called Morning Star.
How cool.
And it's a fairly complicated song because generally when I write these days, it's not, the words and the music are so tied together that it changes sometimes the chord patterns and everything just to get that message across to people that what I'm trying to say. So I step out of the form fairly often. I want
prosody.
to.
Yeah. Prosody, making everything work together to reflect what you're trying to have people feel or understand.
Yeah. I know that I played. I have a very sad song about losing somebody to death, and first time I played it, I looked out. I could see the crowd, and there were several people crying, and I thought, I feel bad that they're crying, but I'm glad because they understood what it was about immediately. So I want that to be understood the first time I sing a song, that people know what it's about. I mean, I realize that, in my career, especially since I played instrumental music for, just that for 10 years, that people generally that don't know much about me say, oh, Brian Henke, guitar player. But, lyrics are so important to me. The words, the descriptions, the meanings, and, that's a very important aspect of what I do. And of course, I still love the instrumental stuff too. I always slip that in concert.
I was playing a concert in Birmingham, Alabama. I don't remember when, but I never do this. It was a pagan concert, and I decided to slip this song in that was non-pagan, and it's a breakup song. And I don't know why, but I just had this, I have to play time. I have to play time. So I did. I decided to play it, and it's a very sad song. And this lady sitting in the front row just lost her shit and started bawling uncontrollably. And I went ahead and I finished the song. And then I stopped and I got up and I said, honey, are you okay? And I knelt down in front of her and she goes, no. And I go, what's wrong? And she goes, my boyfriend just broke up with me via text message right before your concert started.
Rude.
So
Yeah,
she needed to hear that song in order to cry.
She needed to hear it
out. She needed to hear it to heal, and only crying equals healing. By
right. Yeah, and as musicians, being sensitive to what our audience needs, even if we don't know why or exactly what, but that letting that inform our decisions about what to play.
It was weird. It was weird because I never play that song. And I started kind of throwing it in every once in a while after that experience when I felt like it needed to be played. But you never know. Hey, guys, the moment's that you've been waiting for has finally arrived. It's time for the Arcane Treasures giveaway. So this is your last chance. Type #pick into the YouTube comments to enter. But before we draw, it's your last chance for karma points as well. So spank that like button, subscribe, and poke the bell. You've now got 1 minute, as soon as I find the right button to push. You got 1 minute to type pick into the YouTube comments. Draken, remind our viewers what they're going to win.
Okay. Someone is about to win a free physical CD to Fair, $25 card coupon for Paganism.com, a free ongoing membership to Alexian Circle. Inside is $4.50 value. There's way more value to it than that. And an Alexian Show limited edition fridge magnet. To enter to win, just type #pick, P-I-C-K, into the YouTube chat.
Yeah. So you were fading in and out, so I'm going to say it again. A free physical CD of Dance with the Fireflies from Brian Henke, a $25 cart coupon for paganmusic.com, and a free ongoing membership to my kitten circle inside the Cool Cats community, which is a $4.98 month value, as well as, I actually have them right here, one of these little fridge magnets for the Alexian show. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to figure that tech out later. I don't know what's going on there. So are we ready to spin the wheel? Let's do it.
Do it.
I'll add that to the stage. I got to take this out and then put that in. All right, here we go. Good luck. Natasia. Hey, congrats to Natasia for winning our Hard Majors giveaway. Please email me directly at lordalexian@gmail.com to claim your treasure. I want to express a heartfelt thank you to my guest today. So, Brian, thank you so much for joining us and making the show special. And to our viewers who missed our previous episodes, you can catch the replays, so be sure to check them out. Jack and I will be back next month for episode 19, featuring the amazing Pagan musician and friend Wendy Rule. Yes, Wendy with us. That's going to be on Sunday, September 7th at 3 p.m. Yes, Wendy is a longtime friend. So have a wonderful, fabulous day, and we'll see you next month. Boss blessings. Bye, everyone.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.